Okay, so here we are. I've just gone ahead and put some transitions between each of those slides just to kind of give us a heads up here. But I just wanted to point out a couple of things that may end up being a problem on one of these little slideshows here. I'm going to hit the space bar to get our little movie playing. And hey, you see how that first transition goes very nicely to the next one. And there's the drawing plus the photograph becomes the final image. We're going to hop over to the next one here, and you'll see, what's that? Hold on a second. There's all of that checkerboard again. And it wasn't really kind of centered, or, it looks like we're missing some of the stuff that's happening. Well, when you want to edit one of the particular images here, you've got to be with the playhead. You've got to be right over the layer that you want to be working on. So notice that this particular setup is lit up, and there's the playhead. I am at this point over here in my layers. That's the layer I'm looking at. And if I wanted to adjust it, I think I'm looking at it missing maybe a little bit of stuff happening on the edges there. I have to be there with the playhead over that white lit up edge, and then I can see it's the layer there. So I'm going to try to change the size. I think it's a little too big. Well, I can go up to Edit on the top and choose Transform or Free Transform, or I can even use that free, the little keyboard shortcut there for Free Transform called Command T. Let's try that now. So I'm going to do Command T, and look at that. It put a box around that slide, meaning that, yeah, it was centered, but it's a little too big. It doesn't fit in this particular space. So how can I make this centered? Well, inside Photoshop, you've got a couple of options. I could just click and drag any one of those little handles. That's the little square pieces around the outside edge there. Or I can hold the Shift key and the Option key. Click, hold the mouse down, and drag. And what it does is it resizes it from the center of this point in or out. I'm going to let go of the mouse first and then the keys. And I've got it centered. To say OK, hit return or enter, and there we go. If I needed to change the other ones, same trick. I'm just going to move that little playhead, click, hold it, and move over the next layer. But I've got to then make sure that that layer is lit up. So click on it. Oh, there we go. Now it's lit up, and I'm over the playhead. The playhead's over it. I'm going to back up. Command T again. See, it's the same thing. I don't really care too much about this. I'm going to hold the Shift and the Option. I don't really care too much, but I'm just kind of showing you that this is the way it works. And for the particular images here, it doesn't really make too much of a difference that they are not exactly lined up. And again, I let go of the mouse first, and then the keys, and then say Enter, and there we go. So I've got these transitions. I'm going to grab the playhead again down the bottom and move it back, and you can see transition one to the next, and it dissolves, but I still have that problem of the checkerboards. What's going on there? Well, the checkerboards represent total transparency. Here's your fix. I'm going to go over to the right-hand side, and I see my little bar here. I'm going to drag this up all the way to the top. And I'm going to go up, and there's my video group. Close the video group. What I want to do is I want to put a layer underneath the video group, and I want that layer to be black so that I can hide all of that transparency stuff and have like a black background and then just have my slides floating on top. Here's how to do it. Down the bottom in the layers panel, you'll see I've got this guy right here. What does that mean? That means make a new blank layer, create a new layer. Well, if I click on that, what'll happen? Let me just show you. Click on it. A new layer went above that video group. And that's okay, because you could certainly grab that layer, hold it, and drag it underneath. We need it to be underneath. Well, let me just deselect, or let me undo here, Command Z, and then I'll do Option Command Z to get rid of it. What's an easier way to do that all at one time? As long as the video group is selected, if I put my cursor over the new layer, I'm going to put it over the new layer. Here we go. And this time what I'll do is I'll hold the Command key down and click on that new layer. Command and click on the new layer. And look at it, what it did. It put the new layer underneath. Not, you don't necessarily need to have, command and click and put it underneath. You could have clicked and dragged it underneath. The whole point is that you need to have a layer that's underneath all the video group, all those different slides. Let's fill that with a color. To do that, you could come over to the colors on our toolbar, and we notice that we've got this color blue. I don't know what I was playing around with earlier, but I've got this color blue here. I'm going to just hit this little guy right here. That's the default color. So you notice you can click the letter D, just touch the letter D on the keyboard, and you will go to the default colors. And that's what I did. I didn't click there. I just touched D. There's the default colors. That means black is the new foreground color. It's the color that we would paint with. So all I want to do here is I want to fill this new blank layer with black. Okay. Now, check out down bottom. Where did that new layer show up? It showed up wherever the playhead happened to be. Well, the playhead happened to be at about 18 seconds into our little video here. That's okay. Let's just fill it with black. Couple different ways to do that. You can go over to the toolbar and grab the paint bucket, which happens to be hiding with the gradient tool. Click, hold it, and there's our paint bucket tool. Any of these keyboard shortcuts, by the way, just touch the letter G and you would go right to this tool. But the paint bucket is hiding with that. So I click on that. There we go. Now it's the paint bucket. And all I have to do, as long as that layer is lit up over there, is just click someplace inside this picture one time. There we go. Now we've got a black background. Well, let me undo that for just a second. Command Z is undo, or Control Z on a PC is undo. A keyboard shortcut to fill anything, either selected or a layer, with the foreground color is Option Delete on a PC, on a Mac, or Alt Backspace on a PC. So now we fill this background layer, this layer that's underneath everything, with the color black. I'm going to just click to drag this up a little bit. And what I want to do here is this: grab that layer, pull it all the way over to the beginning. And I just did that by clicking right in the middle, holding it and just dragging it. See how easy that is? Click, hold the mouse down and drag it. And then grab this front edge here, hold it, and let's go all the way out. Keep going, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Just go ahead, there we go, all the way out. Hey, let's see what happens. There we go. And bring it right back to there and let go. Perfect. So now we've got that black underneath everything, and as the slideshow progresses, that will be in the background.